everyone, how are you doing? Mobile Suit Gundam Witch from Mercury is getting more and more exciting, isn't it? What is the major charm of the Gundam series? That's right, it's the intensely powerful battle scenes. Today, let's review the combat skills of Suletta in the recently aired Episode 23. She already possesses capabilities that rival the protagonists of the previous Gundam series. Gundam Ariel is immediately in her way. It's refreshing to see the protagonist's mobile suit emerge as an adversary in the final stages. Maybe it's slightly similar to Gundam Epion, which served as the final antagonist in Gundam Wing. Gundam Ariel's Gambit is deployed. Suletta instantly activates the thruster of Gundam Caliber at maximum output. This is the same countermeasure she used in Episode 22. She prevents the encirclement by Gambit by flying around at high speeds. Please recall the preferred combat method of Gundam Ariel. We as an audience have witnessed that strategy several times. It's the concentrated attack from the encirclement by Gambit. Suletta has been with Gundam Ariel since her childhood. Therefore, she understands the specialties of Ariel even more than us. Please pay attention to Gundam Caliber as it accelerates rapidly with its thrusters. There are moments when the flames from the thrusters cut off, and then Caliber spins its body. This act of manipulating the body using center of gravity and posture without using propulsion devices like thrusters is something real astronauts do as well. However, look at the back of Caliber. A light that looks like a blue flame is being emitted. I apologize, I can't fully comprehend what this flame actually is. It may simply be portrayed for dramatic effect. It could also be the utilization of small thrusters for posture control. What's certain is that Suletta is rotating the mobile suit by reducing the output of the last thruster to 0. And then she reneeds the thruster at the point where the orbit reaches 90 degrees. By employing this technique, it's possible to change the orbit at right angles. It's a phenomenon that occurs when the protagonists of the Gundam series execute high-level combat. Suletta is realizing this in such a way. Zach's Maki, who forced the same maneuver with the Targi's thrusters, damaged his internals and was seen coughing abroad. It was confirmed in Episode 23 that Suletta has surpassed X, the lightning count. Suletta is dodging attacks from the Gambit at an extremely close range. This is a method of evasion that can't be executed unless she understands the current position and muzzle angle of the Gambit. In Zeta Gundam, the protagonist Camilo Bayern received similar advice from Amuro. Prepare eyes on your back. It's an absurd and high-level demand. However, mastering this technique as required by Amuro makes it possible to execute such evasion methods. Furthermore, Suletta is not merely dodging. There is no damage on the body of Caliber. Even if a beam attack does not directly hit, there are cases where damage occurs due to the heat. Suletta understands the range of heat generated by the output of the beam. However, Suletta is not at leisure. There were scenes where she was out of breath and her movement stopped due to the abrupt break. Stopping movements against the Gambit is dangerous. However, if she did not stop here, she would have been hit directly by the beam. In extreme conditions, Suletta chose the necessary evasion action, knowing the risk. Suletta is being cornered. She targets a single gambit and closes in rapidly. Then she kicks the gambit directly. She uses the reaction from the kick to evade the beam. This is an excellent technique. However, it only applies in the battlefield where they are trying to take each other's lives. Please remember, for Suletta, the gambit is family, an existence brought forth by the prosperer known as MERCURY child. But for Suletta, they are precious family. I present the evidence. Suletta has not once attacked in all her actions up to this point. That is due to her mentality of not wanting to attack her family. In this scene, Suletta is driven into a situation where she has to kick her beloved. It's a magnificent scene, but also one that pains the heart. Suletta ended up kicking her precious family. Yet, she still loves her family. What would you do if you unintentionally hit your child lover or even a pet? You slipped and dropped the cup you were holding, and it ended up hitting them. Surely, you would choose to raise your hand and gently stroke them. Suletta makes the same choice. She is touching one of the gambits. She may have been trying to persuade it. Remember the situation. In this battlefield, stopping movements is an extremely dangerous act. Yet, Suletta couldn't stop herself from reaching out to the gambit. Perhaps there has never been a character who managed to catch funnels or beats by hand before. Suletta seems to be acting emotionally, but it's clear that she is executing an extremely advanced technique. Perhaps the gambit sensed Suletta's agitation. Two gambits approach Caliburn at the close range. Suletta kicks these gambits away. She kicks one gambit, pushing it into the other. What must she have been feeling? Perhaps she felt like scolding a family member whose mischief had escalated. And finally, Suletta takes a hit. The Gundam Caliburn is pushed to the brink, and the Gundam node approaches. Why did Gundam node wait until this moment to attack? Was it because it would interfere with Gambit's attack? However, Gundam node also has its gambits. It could provide support with ranged attacks. The answer becomes apparent quickly. Suletta shoots down the Gundam node. There is no need for hesitation when dealing with an unmanned machine. The Gundam node crumbles, emitting an explosive flame. Suletta's monitor is obscured by the smoke, taking away her visibility. Under normal circumstances, she might not have made this choice. However, Suletta was under the suppression of the thought, I must not attack the gambit. In front of her, a Gundam node that she could destroy without repercussions appeared. Like a bait. The destroyed Gundam node obstructs Suletta's view with its frames. Emerging from the smoke is the Gundam Ariel, piloted by Ellict. Ariel's kick hits Caliburn directly. Ellict too has been fighting alongside Suletta for a long time. Suletta understands Ariel's characteristics. And likewise, Ellict in the Ariel understands Suletta's characteristics. While dodging Gambit's attacks, Suletta cries out her love for her mother. This battle scene was powerfully directed, but it wasn't just cool. It also conveyed Suletta's love and consideration for her family. I was simply really thrilled the first time I saw the scene. It was the same kind of emotion I felt when I witnessed the scene in Macross Bros, where goats walk F-21 dodges a barrage of missiles. However, carefully observing this scene allowed me to reconfirm the weight of the expressions built up in the story of the witch from Mercury. How did you feel? I hope that the witch from Mercury will have a happy ending. There's a quote from the Gundam series that I really like. It's a phrase left behind in the afterword of the novel version of Mobile Suit Gundam 1080 War in the Pocket by QCQ. The quote is, "I prefer third-rate happy ending to a first-rate tragedy." In The Witch from Mercury, we might get to enjoy a first-rate happy ending. Let's meet again in the next show.